Well, all right, here we are with the Air Gun Reviews and Hunting channel. We made it from the farm permission, where we can't tell you where that is now, to the shooting range here in Kalamazoo, Michigan. All right, here we are, getting set up. Just got some targets downrange at 30 and 50 yards. Got Ken here getting ready to do his review here on the Hatsan at44 pump action.
177 caliber.
Yeah, 177 caliber here. We're gonna be doing some, yeah, it's a hot sun weekend here. Hot sun weekend. We got
hot sun weekend, hot sun Sunday.
Yeah, hot sun Sunday for sure. We got the spotting scope here for downrange viewing. We got Turkey's Vectis here, which we've been working with and just took apart last night and was able to see how it all comes apart and cut off the muzzle brake or whatever you want to call it on the end that they had. It is not a QE system. It is not any sort of moderator. It is not an air stripper. It's more of what I would call an air deflector or maybe a muzzle brake. But there's no kick in PCP, so what does it matter, right? It's not a powder burner. Anyways, and also over here we got the bullboss, my personal bullboss 2.2, and then we got the Flash Pup 2.5 in wood that we'll be putting up against a Flash S that is now in Ken's family, the Flash Pup S, excuse me. All right, Air Gun Reviews and Hunting channel underway. He's got the side shot on there. How's it shooting there for you, bud?
Oh my God, that's a recrowning barrel, man.
Yeah, that's right. This was a barrel that you did end up recrowning.
Yeah.
Correct. Grouping that sucked.
Like in 10.5 Crossman domes in a 10.
Oh.
Wow. I'm impressed.
30 yards, eh?
No, 50.
Oh, you're at 50 right now.
Man, you know, 50 is basically the ultimate test.
There's a little shot there. Good times down here at the range. All right, we're gonna do some shooting. We'll come back at you here in just a little bit.
There's Corey, aka Cornfields and Crosshairs, at the 30-yard zero out to the Kalamazoo range. He just sighted in his bullboss over here at 30. What are you going to do? Try this bullboss out to 50? It likes the Crossman domes, 14.3. Now he's got his stepfather's gun, Turkey. Just celebrated her birthday. 76 years old last week.
Boom.
And this is what Corey got him. A refurbished Hatsan Vectis in 2.2. And he had spent the night over at my house last night, and he went ahead and cut the Hatsan moderator off, and now has a, there it is.
Muzzle flash, we'll call it.
A Wolf LDC moderator, whatever you want to call it. And he's getting ready to zero Turkey's gun at 30 yards. Wave to the camera there.
Yeah, what's going on YouTube? How's it going, guys? Hanging out with Air Gun Reviews and Hunting channel today. Today, Hot Sun Sunday.
There you go. Okay, to be continued. This is a recap today of what happened from this morning until now in the evening. I have Corey as my guest, also known as Cornfields and Crosshairs. We're doing reviews on this at44 PA and 177 a bullboss in 2.2 and a Vectis in 2.2. Today was a Hatsan Sunday. Let's start off with this at44 PA 177. As you can see, there is a way to mount a bipod and a sling stud on a pump action Hatsan. I did it. The sling stud, what I did was drilled, tapped into this part right here that you can get on eBay. It's about, this is a 30 millimeter Picatinny mount. It's very close to fitting. It's not quite to size, so you'll have to take a Dremel tool, round out the inside, flatten the top here so it goes over the air tube. And that's how I was able to get a bipod and sling. And it works quite good. Now, on this particular Hatsan is a 4/16/44 Hunt. Second focal plane. Of course, I made this up. Scope wheel. Put a, it says on the side here, at44 PA long, but I took the long barrel out and the long cylinder and converted to a short. So it's actually the short version with a TKO on the end of the barrel. So the barrel's fairly new, but I'm thinking I have a barrel issue, or I'm trying to convince myself that this group right here, shooting the H&N Barracudas, is a nickel-sized group. A couple flyers here on the side. 8 shots right here, 2 on the side. I'm trying to convince myself that a nickel-sized group is good enough for this bird at 50 yards. Now, mind you, a sparrow is actually bigger than this target. So is a nickel-sized group good enough at 50 yards? I'm looking for 1/2 inch or less. Nickel is 0.83. So the 3/4 of an inch is what I'm looking at. 3/4 of an inch. 1 inch. There's 1 inch. That's 1 inch right there. Still in the kill zone. So I'm on the fence right now. I'm used to 1/2 inch or less. But this is a hunting rifle, hunting air gun. Corey, what do you think? Corey, come on in here.
What's that, bud?
I got my My friend here,
Yeah,
Corey
what's going on,
from
YouTube? How's it going, guys? How's it going?
Cornfields and Crosshairs.
That's right, man.
A new addition to Air Gun Reviews and Hunting Channel.
Yeah, how's it going? How's it going?
Well, we had a Hatsan Sunday, didn't we? And,
yeah, we did. We had a Hatsan Sunday for sure.
We were just looking at this at44 PA and 177. What do you think, Corey? What's your take on this this grouping right here? Nickel group at 50 yards, and you got the bird right there. You know, Sparrow's bigger than this target right here. Yep. What's your take, man? A couple flyers on the side, but
okay.
Was that would you take that as a halfway decent group?
I would take that as a halfway decent group. Yes. Would I take
all day?
All day as a halfway decent group. Yes. Would I take this as a a match type group? No. Something that I'm going to go to my the range or the gun club or some shooting
field target.
Field target, even field target. You're absolutely right. Field target, and you know that more so than I do. I've only been to a couple field target events. But
that wouldn't be acceptable.
No, that would not be acceptable because of the fact that the targets are they're so small,
Yeah.
And you're shooting what is it? The smallest target is down to what's the measurement of it, Ken?
3/8.
3/8 of an inch. I mean, this is not 3/8 of an inch, so that's not going to happen. That's not going to be anything that's going to keep you in the competition. So
right.
But do I believe that this maybe could be a tighter group through a little bit of working on maybe some more barrel things or something with the gun or maybe even the magazines, as we spoke with a friend of ours today about just these magazines and with the pellets clearing through the mag holes, taking the O-ring off the magazine. There's videos out there about that where guys have shown how to do that, how to go about that. Very easy process, just another one of those little small things that's time consuming, but I think it's something that could be could contribute to accuracy. And right here, what you're talking about, this problem that you're having, Ken, is an accuracy issue. So let's address the things that are all contributing to accuracy of shooting air rifles. And we know through experience and through communicating with other owners of the Hatsan line of air rifles is that these magazines, guys have been experiencing improvement in accuracy and also in cycling of the round into the breech with these type of magazines. And that's, it's no big deal, overall, me personally, I like these magazines more than I like the other plastic magazines. These are far easier to load, they're metal, they're pretty simple, they get cycled by the gun, the action in the gun. There's no springs or anything like that to worry about. So, I think it's awesome. I personally have learned to love the at44 platform from Hatsan. How can you not? There's some guys who are just, who are next level guys and who buy more expensive guns, and that's awesome too. There's a lot of amazing expensive guns out here, but for guys who are working class folk or who got money going out in different ways, the Hatsan line's a really good line. Personally, I like this pump action with this. Actually, Ken, this is the first time I saw this gun was at your house when I came here for the first time. And I had no clue that there was even a pump action available for the Hatsan 44, so that's really sweet. And the thing I like about this stock too, and this configuration of an AT44, is it still has the thumb safety back here. I know a lot of guys hate safeties, and everyone's got their opinion, but for me personally, my thumb is already right here ergonomically on the gun, so screwdriver. So it's very convenient for me just to push it in. Is it one more movement with my hand? Yes. Can it be annoying to some fellas? Yes, it can be. And ladies, yes, it can be. But and the pistol grip here, I have very large hands. I'm a larger man, I guess, if you will. And so this grip actually fits my hand, which is super nice. Thumb hole stocks can be kind of quirky. I know on my AT44 that we'll be working on later on, my 177, which is just the standard AT44. With the standard composite stock, the what do I want to call that? Not the thumb hole, but the other style I can't think of right now. But anyways, it's a shorter pistol grip, and so my hand doesn't fit on it. I'm gonna have to add to it, So that's something to be considered. I love always love the adjustable butt pad on Hatsan guns that they offer through different models that they have on their lineup. I think it's great. Obviously, the trigger's real good. This is not. Well, let's take this out of here right now, just because everyone's gonna wonder. Oh my God, this thing's loaded. Here, it's not loaded. No rounds in it. Nothing in the chamber. So, but the trigger pulls are. I like the Quattro trigger. It's very adjustable, especially if you have Ken adjust yours, because he adjusted mine on my bullboss, and it's great. So, I've yet to learn how to do that, but that's also online. So I like the at44 platform. This pump action gun is awesome, and like you said, there's so many things you can do with them. This is the Tinker's, I think, gun is the at44 platform.
That's a good term for it, Tinker's gun.
Yeah, it's very very workable, and as I'm learning through you, Ken, and the things that you have already dove into because you've been doing this longer than I have, is that this is a very workable, tunable, customizable, you name it gun. So, and the price is right. I mean, you can't go wrong with it. And I did think it was really interesting that Airgun Depot just recently put out a video on YouTube about this particular model, which I think is so funny because I feel like
I watched that video. Yeah,
I feel like it might have been out for a long time, but I guess I don't know how long has it been out. I don't know. You know,
it's been out probably 6-7 years at least.
And now
at least.
And I think what's happening is I think that maybe in the industry, I don't know, I was thinking about this. Why is this pump action so attractive to me personally? Is that it's very repeatable. It's quickly repeatable. And that's what I like about the Vectis and the lever action guns that are coming out now too. Very quickly repeatable guns. Instead of having to move my hand off of holding the gun, say to cycle a side lever or a bolt or something like here, I'm staying in what I'm doing here. My hands are not leaving. So I think that's really awesome, especially if you do need a repeatable shot. Like say when you miss, or say, because we do miss, or when you wound a bird, and you don't mean to wound the bird. Obviously, we usually always want to get that really good shot, but sometimes in reality that doesn't happen, and sometimes you have to shoot a bird twice. So very quickly to repeat the shot cycle and to have another round go down range when you need it. And I think that's just awesome. It's just efficient use of a gun, I guess, to each his own, but I like all different kinds of actions. And that's my opinion on it, Ken, really. I mean, I can't say any more great things about it. Well, although I do, one thing I can't say that I don't like. My one quirk or qualm or thing that I don't like about the Hatsan air tube is that the manometer I just think is horrible. Just the display and the readout, I think it sucks, dude. Okay, it could be a white background like those other ones that you have around here that I see in the guns.
Yeah,
but this dark black and the needle's black and it's not on a totally white background. It's too much of a pain in the ass to read, and like we all don't like nor care for. It's on the end of the tube. Today I'm looking at my bullboss at the range. I'm like, everyone's right. Putting barrels by your face is not good.
Right?
Nobody likes that. Nobody likes that except for people that that like to think things are funny, and I don't think that's funny. So.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and grab this one, and I want you to bring over your bullboss in 22 caliber, and let's see what all you've done to this baby here.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. All right.
Okay, this is Corey's gun.
One of them.
One of his guns.
I don't have a lot. I'm still new at this.
This is the Hatsan Bullboss 2.2.
Yeah.
We learned something about this particular gun over this weekend, and that is when Corey bought it, he bought it off Airgun Nation?
Yep, I bought off a really good dude off Airgun Nation. It was a great transaction. Nothing but good things to say about that.
Okay, and the previous owner has stuck a Hatsan regulator in the air tube, and of course, both Corey and I, we were curious about what it looked like, because I've only seen it in pictures on the net.
Yeah, I've never seen it in real life either.
We cronied the gun, and the gun was shooting, was it pretty high?
Yeah, it was shooting like 980 with...
Used up a lot of air, basically.
Yeah, it was using a lot of air. I mean, it was having to get refilled pretty quickly, surprisingly. And it was shooting at like 980 with a, with the 18, I think it was the 18 grain. Or no, excuse me, that was with the 15.89. Yep.
Yeah, Corey ended up doing a custom job painting. He painted the stock. He had to eliminate some of the stock. Now, what was the reason? You had to cut something off the back here.
Yeah,
I think
or the
right here.
Yeah, where they got
Right
that. I
here.
think it's like a bag rest. I think that reason that comes out like that is to rest on a bag. You know, the Caldwell, the rear bag that we all use that's V'd out.
Okay.
And I saw a guy online do this, and I've always loved the bullboss, and I've always wanted the bullboss wood, but for a while, a couple years ago, I always kept seeing for like $750, and I'm like, oh man, that's a lot of money for that gun, and I kept dragging my feet, and then they Air Gun Depot came out with I saw on their webpage that they had the green version. There was like, it was like a green version. And then on their Hatsan's webpage later on last year, whatever, they came out with different like digicamo or different color patterns on their stock, on their composite stocks. And I was like, hey, that might make it actually more usable for hunting, because I use this gun for hunting mostly, and some pesting, but mostly this is a hunting gun. Hence the reason I have different colors on it and had the camo on here, and stuff, because I take this in the woods a lot across the street from my house and hunt squirrels with it.
So, did the sling come with the gun when you purchased it?
No, this actually was a sling that I had bought from my Benjamin Marauder 225, the Sinra that I bought. That was actually my first PCP air gun that I bought. I ended up transferring this over. I had to send the Sinra back, so I ended up transferring this sling over to this bullboss. I put there were studs in here. The previous owner had put the studs in here, but I changed them out to different ones, and just added this sling here, which is really nice, and because it's kind of hard to carry around some of the bigger, what do I want to call them, bullpups, if you will, and in the field they're not as easy as like a P15 or a cricket or something real short.
Right.
This is a little bit longer, and I wanted it longer because I wanted the longer barrel in a shorter configuration. I didn't want like an at44 long or a Nova or something like that. So that's why I chose this gun. And so that regulator that was in here, that Hatsan regulator, the factory regulator that you can buy from them, it's kind of interesting. Like Ken was saying, we did learn a couple things about it, and just about its adjustments and its capabilities, and that the difference between those particular regulators and then, like, say, a human regulator, which has more of like a plenum build to it, if you will. You have one laying around. You have something that's laying around.
Yes. Yeah, I got a human regulator. Hang on a second here. Here's a human regulator right here.
Right.
But it doesn't have the numbers on it. But that's a human regulator in the plenum.
Yeah.
It all screws in, or someone push in.
Yeah, and the at44 is different with the adjustment, and it doesn't have this plenum style thing to it. It has the whatever those washers are, you call them, the
Belleville washer, wave washers.
Yep. And it's just a different build. This has more of a plenum, like I said, to it. And I probably will be switching to this style of a regulator after having the conversation that we had with our fellow air gunning friend on the phone this evening, which made a lot of sense. So I will be taking out this stock Hatsan one. Even though it is working, I can't say that it's not working, but I feel that this one would just give me more adjustability when it comes to pellets and velocity, and also how if I want to detune the gun or if I want to run the gun hot. So there's that.
What I have here.
Oh yes. Very cool.
It's actually for
very cool.
Any Hatsan air tube.
Yeah.
If you have a regulator and you don't know where the reg is set at, this little gadget here, fellow air gunner made it for me. I don't remember his name. It was on GTA, Gateway to Air Guns. And I asked him if he could make me one, and I paid him. But I have to go back through my notes to find out who that person was on GTA.
What's this screw right here, Ken?
Oh, I know what it is, but I don't know if I should tell you that.
We're not sharing information information now? Is that how it goes? That's the case. I'm out of this air gun world, man. I'm out of this air gun world. That's the case.
Well,
on, man.
you know, I can only reveal so much, man. But then the rest, you know, if you want to know more about the Hatsan regulator, you know, since Corey and I, we figured out how to make the Hatsan regulator, how to get it to work correctly, using this tool here. But you know, if you want to know more about the Hatsan regulator, you know, we know about it, but we can't tell you.
No, that's how
Can't tell you. It's no.
Yeah, we're not trying to totally let all the cats out of the bags, you know, because then what? What?
Yeah, it's, you know, we don't want to share with fellow air gunners and the rest of the air gun world, you know, because it's top secret for some reason.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to get our game on here. You know, we can't be just you know, willy-nilly and all the things we've known and learned and spent money on and what.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, you can hit me up in a private message, man.
Yeah.
We work something out how to tell you how it works, but you know, you know, if you just come up to me and ask me how it works, I say, yeah, I know how it works, but I can't tell you.
I think there would be
something
in there for us. You know, there's got to be something there for us too. We just can't be giving and giving and not receiving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But anyways,
So what's this screw mean? If I message you, will you tell me what this screw is right here?
I know what it is, but you know, I just can't tell you.
Okay, because obviously this is the degassing cap.
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah.
So this must be, okay. I'm going to guess this is probably like a bleed valve or something. Or is this, what is this? Is this, does this hold this in here tight so it doesn't turn? Or what? Does this have to be a specific orientation? How does this thing work?
Again, I'm just showing that there are resources out there available for you air gunners out there. If you need to know, just private message, man. I'll be glad to tell you. I'm sorry.
It's so hard to get quality information out of this guy.
Okay, all right. Continue on with this review here. How you like this? What is primary arms? What is that? 414?
Yeah, this is a primary arms. I think it's a 4 to 16. I think it's.
No, it says 414 or 14.
Okay, 4 to 14, 4 to 16, 4 to 14.
First focal plane.
Yeah, this is their first focal plane. 30 mil tube.
Okay.
It's the ARC 2 MOA reticle, so it's MOA on the
half mil that, right?
Yeah, it's MOA on the reticle and it's MOA on the turret too, so that they match.
Okay, so it's also a lit reticle too, right?
Yeah, it's lit reticle, green and red. First focal point, I love it. It's been a great scope. I actually had to send the first one back that I had, and I actually put it on my Synrod. Guys are like, oh, he's got a screwdriver on his scope. I know, I'm sorry. But I had to send the other one back because I was having an issue with my point of impact shifting, and come to find out the parallax knot was screwed up and it was messing with the internals. And so I emailed them, sent it back. They had great customer service. Ended up sending me a new scope because they felt like they were just going to fix the AO on when I sent back, and they were just going to resell it as a refurbished one. And they said, here, have a new one instead.
What, do you have a lifetime warranty or what is it?
Actually, technically, I think it's 3 years, but I think
3 years?
I think they're out of Houston, Texas, but I think they're the type of company where if you own their scope and you call them and contact them, they're not going to deny you because they just want you to have their product that works and is quality, so that it's good for business, you know. So yeah, they took real good care of me. Yeah, good things to say about this. A really good scope. I really like it. You know?
Good looking bullboss there. This bipod, it came with the gun when you bought it?
This did come with the gun.
Is that a Harris or
this
just...
is a UTG?
UTG. Okay.
Yeah, it's the TL-BP 980.
Okay.
It's, you know, it came with the gun. I use it every now and then. I normally don't have it on the gun because when I'm hunting, I usually have the gun slung out in the woods. But if I'm at home when I'm pesting or something and I got the bullboss out, then yeah, I'll sit on the bipods, you know. And I also, if I'm messing with it on the bench or something, I might throw the bipod on if I don't have a vise available or something like that. So yeah, it came with the gun too. You know? Yeah, I can't complain. The only complaint I do have one complaint about this.
Okay.
Is that for some reason, look, the stock flexes here because it's plastic, so it flexes a little bit. So when you hold this gun and you're shooting this gun, it does want to cant a little bit in the stock. And I don't know if any of the other bullboss owners out there have experienced this that had these.
Yeah, that's a good
stock.
question.
But I would like to know, do you guys have that same canting, almost like thin plastic twisty feel on the end of your gun? Which is okay because I have mounted a level on my scope so I can tell if my gun's canted. And usually you can anyways if you're looking at you kind of get the feel once you get to know it when you're shooting. But I've caught myself kind of, I don't know, I don't like that. It kind of feels cheap. But it could be something that maybe it was just to run a stock or something. So if there's any other guys out there that would like to comment on that, bullboss owners.
Yes, bullboss owners, please chime in. We'd
If I got
like to hear
wrong,
from
if I got
you.
something wrong or something, let me know. But I've gone in and checked this over and over again, so I don't know what the deal is. But it hasn't affected its accuracy or anything like that in any way, shape, or form. It's just like when you, and maybe I just muscle the gun too hard. I don't know, but that seems to be done.
No, I mean that's rocking pretty good.
It's pretty easily done, but like I said, I've learned to live with it, and I would assume that wouldn't happen on the wood version. So, but that's
All
like I said, only with the bipod on there because it's forcing it to twist that way with the weight and the pressure and everything on it when it's on a bipod. So,
Okay, Corey, I want you to bring up your father,
oh yeah,
the father's birthday present.
yeah, man, let's do that. Let's do that.
Okay.
We're gonna have to stand up with this one. All right, what we got here is a Hatsan Vectis. I want to make it look stock, so I'm just gonna set this on here. This is the Hatsan Vectis in 22 caliber. I bought it. My mother and I came together and bought this for my dad, stepfather, for his 76th birthday. Hatsan Vectis. Very cool gun. Very cool gun. Unregulated. Obviously, they all come unregulated. Bought it off of Hatsan's webpage, Hatsan USA. And my dad really loves lever action guns. He's kind of a cowboy, likes John Wayne movies and stuff. Last year for his 75th birthday, I bought him a Viroc HW97 KT. And he loves the gun, but he's always had a little bit of, cocking, and he does okay, but it's under lever, it's kind of a pain, and he's a real good shooter, taking sparrows out at 80 yards with his Viroc with the 14.66 grain H&Ns.
Oh, he took that crow out too.
Yeah, that crow. Oh man, he shot that crow. I about died. I couldn't believe he shot that crow. 46 yards up into a tree in my yard. Big crow, man, and just took it down. And that was the first time he'd ever heard a pellet smack a bird, and that it was audible. And he could actually understand the power, even at 16.5 foot-pounds coming out of that Viroc, what it sounds like hitting when you hit game with it. So pretty cool. So he was talking about PCP, wants to stretch it out a little bit farther, pushing the Viroc out to 80s. That can get dicey at times. A lot is involved in that. So he's been really looking at PCP, and so I told him, hey, well, let's next year look for a PCP for you and this and that. And so doesn't have a ton of money, can save some money up though and buy things. And so I told my mom, I said, hey, let's get him this, because I seen this on their webpage and they had a sweet price on them. So I picked it up, and he loves lever action. I've watched the reviews on YouTube. Thank you, other YouTube reviewers who have reviewed the Vectis. Because when new stuff comes out, we always are really eager to see what people's experiences are with the gun. So thank you to all the other guys that have done reviews on the Vectis. I appreciate that. So yeah, other than that, the lever action is awesome. The trigger out of the box came real good. It's like 3 pounds. It's not bad at all. The first stage is cool with a little bit of spring pressure, and then you hit the wall and it breaks. The high ring mounts are necessary. These are high rings for the Vectis magazine to come in here. It did come with a single shot tray.
2 mags, right? 2 mags? Okay.
Yep, and single shot tray, yep.
Okay.
What else came with it? Oh, the iron sights I did take off. They're kind of nice. They're really adjustable. I'm sure I could go get them, but I won't. You guys can see them on the gun, obviously on the webpage and stuff. You know what they are. The only thing I did not like about the gun was this, obviously at the end of the barrel. This is not a QE system. I've seen on Airgun Nation and other places. Guys are, speculating whether this is a QE system that's put inside of this barrel shroud. This is not a QE system, and I have a bullboss. I have a QE system. This is not a QE system. There is no material. There's no of those gray cups and any of that stuff in there to absorb sound or anything like this. This is what I would call, in my personal opinion, a muzzle brake, because the pellet comes out of here. There's nothing in here to deaden any kind of sound or anything like that, or generate any kind of turbulence, redirection, or anything like that. And it's just got these open things on the side. And like other guys have said online, they found that you covered it the size with your hand when you dry fired the gun.
I tried it.
It's significantly quieter.
Yeah, I tried it. And I know there's a big difference.
And I seen that guy on Airgun Nation. I can't remember his name right now. It starts with a P. His username.
Paul Cat or
Peugeot or something like that. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I can't remember right now. But he cut his off and showed a picture of it, and so I decided to cut this one off. Now, when I did cut this one off, I'm going to tell you guys that there is the same silver nut in the end of this that is on the
let me see that real quick.
Here you go, Ken. See if you can get it close with that. Somehow you can get a picture in there.
Yeah, right there's the actual nut, the QE nut.
Yep.
That goes on a QE baffle system.
Right.
It's the same nut, but it's not a QE.
Right.
It's a QE nut.
Correct. And
you can access it.
Correct.
There are 2 pins right here, roll pins.
Yeah.
You knock the 2 roll pins and you stick in a deep well socket, an extension. You unscrew that, and this whole shroud, because we took it apart last night.
We did.
Trying to figure out how in the heck this thing comes apart, and that's what it was. So for you folks out there is wondering how to get this shroud off, you have to take out the 2 roll pins.
And pop the cap off.
Yep.
To get your socket in.
Yep. Extension, and then back it off.
And this whole comes off, the whole top, you can see it split here. It's split here. So this whole top back to the action, or the block here, whatever you want to call it, will come off. Just off the top. Actually, we had to take the bottom of the gun off first, remember?
Oh, that's right. Yep. You're right. You got to take the gun out of the action and then take it off.
Yes, because this bottom piece, there's a band that goes around. This top piece has a band, a wide band that goes around the air tube, which the bottom screw threads into through this bottom piece into this top band that wraps around the air tube. You cannot see the band. It is inside here, hidden. But once you take the bottom off, these 2 screws, you take the bottom of the stock off, you open the action of the gun, open the action up, and you'll just kind of slide out of the bottom part of the stock. And then, as you can see, there is the same half 20 threads as is on every other Hatsan, AT, Flash, you name it, kind of barrel right here.
Right. Yeah.
Same thing. But like I said, when I cut this, be cautious. And I personally was thinking about using a Dremel and a blade, but then I decided not to, because I didn't know how fast I was going to cut through this material before I started touching onto the barrel. And so what I ended up doing is I just took one of Ken's his hacksaws and hacksawed through it, and then cleaned it up a little bit around the edge here. And I hacksawed it right at the end of the taper, right here at the end of the gun, and you all will see that on your Vectis. You'll see where that spot is to cut it right here. Now, the issue with cutting it right there, and not that it's an issue, but it's an aesthetics thing, is that when you slide on any aftermarket LDC, moderator, silencer, suppressor, you will have a gap right here. You will have a little bit of a gap right here, which is where that O-ring or whatever that is, there's like an O-ring groove right here. Now, that being said, if that doesn't bother you, that's fine. Or you can maybe find a thick rubber washer, black one, or a thick rubber O-ring or something.
Rubber O-ring probably would
that
pretty
can
good
fill
there.
in that space if that bothers you.
Yeah.
Other than that, that's it. And it made the gun This is a Wolf moderator from Poland.
Yeah.
And even this is not one of the top ones on the market, like the Donnie FLs,
Right.
or the Huma one that
Yeah.
we and we're just talking about earlier this evening with our friend over the phone. But this one works decently. You know, it's a decently priced moderator, suppressor, LDC, whatever, and it even just this low cost one significantly quieted the report of this weapon.
Oh yeah, I noticed that right off the bat. Yeah.
Far more than this. This is not. This was never intended to do any sort of suppression to the report of this gun by any means. So that being said, we have cleared the air on that with the Vectis. I looked at the crown.
Yes.
The crown is really good.
By adding a moderator to this gun,
Yeah.
I give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, that makes this whole gun, because this, I believe, is the Achilles heel of this specific Hatsan model. A lot of guys,
Exactly.
a lot of guys are really excited about this lever action.
Yes. I personally like the lever action. I've seen them in the magazines. I've seen them on YouTube. You know, and the only negative that I could come up with was this right here.
Yeah, correct. I would totally agree.
If it wasn't for if Hatsan would have put a QE system on there,
Yeah.
I know that they would sell like hotcakes.
Yeah.
Just for the simple fact that it's a lever action. As fast as you can cycle it,
Yep.
just like a pump action, at44.
Yeah, it's fast. It's fast.
That's more than likely it's gonna be my next gun there,
Yeah,
folks.
and the nice thing about this
I don't
too-
have a lever action.
in the collection.
Oh yeah.
No lever
Yeah.
actions back here.
Yeah.
But the nice thing also about this gun, I'm going to jump back to the side of the gun real quick, since we're talking about it, is that this is a true ambidextrous stock.
Yeah, that's a good
This
point.
is a true
Good point.
ambidextrous gun for like Ken, who's the left-handed guy. Who's been
Left
shooting-
is right, right is wrong.
Hey, however you want to slice it, man. However you want to slice it, I'm not going to argue, but you know. And like I said, another thing too is I have big hands. This is a very big hole. It's very accommodating for most grown men. And if you have smaller hands, then you're at an advantage because your hand will fit obviously anyways. The cheek weld is a little bit low for my personal neck length and my personal comfort on the gun. So I will be adding a little bit, maybe a 1/4 inch more to this. But rubber butt pad, you know, easily can add length of pull if you want to. So this rifle will come up and it will be right at home for you. It's very light. It's thin. It's very flickable, like Steve Shalley showed on his review there at AEAC online. It is a very flickable gun. It's very nice. I had no problem cycling the gun all day long as I went through the mags and was culling pellets for it today.
And I have to apologize to Corey because we were at the range today in Kalamazoo. And, you know, after we did some pesting this morning and we arrived out to the range about 1:30, and it gets pretty dark, as you know. If you live on the Midwest, East Coast, it gets dark around 5:15. So
Yeah.
light was fading fast, and I forgot to pick up Corey's targets.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry about that, Corey. You know,
Yeah,
but
happens.
yeah, you want to elaborate on the
Actors?
bullboss
Oh.
and this Vectis on the groups.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, bullboss, you know, since we tuned that regulator and got that over the crony shooting at normal numbers now, like at, you know, 860 and stuff like that, very accurate gun. Very accurate gun. I don't have anything bad to say about that. I wish I would have had enough time today before the daylight went down to try SG's recommendation of the polymags up to 50 yards, but hey, that's for another day. But the 18.13 grains, really like the gun likes those very much. And the Crossing Premiers, they did all right too. You know, if you're just out plinking and you're not really trying to get that super tight group or get that really well placed headshot, you know, on game or whatever it is, then you could run the Premiers through them. You get a respectable group. It's probably a 2-inch group at 30. No, not 2-inch group at 30 yards. I take that back. Because I was shooting off of the bipod, as that gun is, off the bipod with artillery hold. I was not locked into a vise when I was shooting the gun today because that's not how I normally shoot guns anyways. Now, I can do that to make sure I get maximum accuracy and the very best pellet out of the gun. I totally get that, and I do that. But today I did not. I was just shooting it off the bench on bipod with artillery hold for the bullboss.
Yeah, because today was actually the first time since you purchased the gun that we actually tuned it over the weekend. So, you know, and the trigger adjustments, you know.
The trigger. Oh.
Yeah. You know, so.
You hit the gun and it goes off. Oh.
Yeah. You told me that, you know, and you cocked the gun and you tapped on it and the gun went off. And I said, oh, no, yeah, not cool.
Nobody likes that gun.
But we come up with some analogies that we were thinking about the ballistic coefficient. You know, as far as where a person decides to zero their gun, and a lot of people I talk to will generally say 25, 30 yards what they zero an air gun. You know, and I can understand, you know, okay, that seems like a reasonable distance that,
Pretty popular
out
distance.
to, you know, 0 at 30 and, you know, hold over out to 100 yards. But Corey and I were talking about this, you know, when he was shooting his bullboss, you know, the Crossman Premiers at 30 yards, they were stacking them in there all day. But then when he tried it out to 50 yards, the groups really opened up.
Yeah, it was the 50-yard that was the worst. I think
know,
I misspoke earlier about the 30 yards. It was the 50-yard group that was just...
Right. And so we got to talking about that, and I said, you know what? Okay, you may want to zero the gun at 30 yards, but then for maximum accuracy, I think you need to take the gun straight out to 50 yards at least, you know, because that's about normal range to, you know, for an air gun. Yeah, air gun will stretch out to 100 yards. We know that and beyond. But I'm talking about, you know, hunting, you know, like in a farm permission or what have you, you know. I think 50 yards, you'll know what that gun is capable of doing. If it groups half-inch or less at 50 yards, you know, with an accurate pellet, you know, what was you using that at 50 yards there, Corey? On the bullboss. What pellet was that?
That one that was the real good group?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the 18.13 grain.
18, okay.
Yeah.
Stacking them right in the same hole, basically. Okay.
Was.
Yeah, I wish you could show, you know, the folks on YouTube, you know, they want to see it, you know, I know, you know, but we'll get a chance to do it again. But anyways, you have to take our word for it. Yeah, the bullboss, you know, at 50 yards, he was stacking them right in there. So we feel that, you know, when you have a new gun or you're trying to figure out what pellet's accurate, you're going to want to go with at least 50 yards to see what the gun's made of, man. You never know. You might have a bad barrel or it may not just like that pellet, you know.
Right.
And
yeah, you know, one thing to comment on that, Ken, is there, that's a good point, too, is, you know, most shooters, at least in my experience, the guys I know, they all start at shorter ranges and then kind of stretch it out. You know, we all want to shoot farther and shoot with more energy, and you know that tends to be the trend, if you will, in air gunning. So, you know, me, I was shooting all last year at 50 yards in my yard. I had tons of sparrows and starlings and red squirrels everywhere, you know, out in the country, but I wanted to shoot to the back of my acreage, which is from my house, from the deck, and that would be 115 yards at the most, you know. So I wanted that 100-yard gun, you know. So I kept stepping it up from the beginning of when I was shooting air rifles, where I was shooting just short distances, and I was just getting excited about just having a good shot, like an accurate gun that would actually like take out a red squirrel or a sparrow or a starling, time after time without just feeling like it was the lucky shot out of 100, but I wanted to move farther out now that I was able to hit targets accurately, and even small targets. That's why small game is so cool, because the targets are small. Aim small, miss small, right?
Yeah.
But I kept wanting to push it out farther. You know what I'm saying, and a little bit more energy, because I was like, okay, well, now that I know that these PCPs can do these kind of things, I want to shoot a raccoon, which I do have problems with raccoons at my place, thanks to the mulberry trees. But I wanted, instead of choosing my 12 gauge, I wanted to see and take a raccoon with a headshot with an air rifle. So step it up in power, step it up in distance shooting. So yes, 50 yards, I feel for most guys and ladies who are shooting and wanting to stretch out, I mean, you're going to go there anyways. Like I said, that tends to be the natural progression and the trend of, shooting and air gunning, at least in my experience. I haven't heard of anybody out there that's been wanting to just keep it at a certain distance or is okay with staying, 30 and under. That's where they operate and work most of the time. But I don't know. I'm not everybody. There could be somebody who lives in a subdivision somewhere or doesn't have a lot of room that just can only shoot so far. So there are those too, and I'm not negating the fact that those people exist, and then that's just fine. But the general trend for those who like to go hunting and pesting and do all that stuff, farm permissions and stuff like that, generally are looking for the farther shot, It's gratifying, it's a challenge, it's part of the deal of air gunning. So, yeah, I mean, a 50-yard pellet, and then come back from there, I feel generally, yeah, because if you, like today when I was shooting that bullboss with the Crossman Premiers, like you're saying, they were grouping pretty well. I was kind of impressed, but then I went out to 50 yards, and as the farther I went out, the more the group opened up, and the coefficiency of the pellet, I think, and not only that, but probably part of the the casting process. They're not perfect pellets. They're not looked and inspected like JSBs and H&Ns and those other top tier brands, Air Arms, stuff like that. So that comes into play too. You might have slag, you might have different weights, you might have some skirts that are kind of weird or whatever it may be. So I feel like if you can nail it at 50, and then come back, you generally, I think, now I could be wrong, but this is just speculation. You come back, you should do pretty good. You should. You shouldn't have your groups shouldn't open up as you go back.
Right. No.
I don't know. No. What do you guys think? Tell us what you think about that concept. Has anybody done that? Has anybody tried it? Does everybody think it's bullshit? I mean, whatever it may be. But I just think it's an interesting thing to think about when shooting and zeroing in guns and culling pellets and picking pellets that your gun likes and finding them, or going after them, or that whole process. So, yeah. One thing I'm thinking about, Ken, as we're sitting here and I'm looking at this Vectis, I did notice that I did forget one thing about this Vectis that we did have a hard time with here. And that was going through scopes and the eye relief.
Oh!
Remember that?
Yes!
And I attribute that issue, now, and correct me if I'm wrong, Vectis owners, please comment and let us know if you've had a different experience or the same experience even. But this piece here, I don't know why this piece here tapers down and they didn't bring the Picatinny all the way back to here. I don't understand why Hatsan did that and why there's 3 holes here. It seems like something was supposed to set into there, but I'm not sure because they're not tapped holes, and they just stop right here at the bottom of where this molding is here. These holes are only that deep. So if any of you Vectis owners have any input on that, or
yes, please,
Hatsan USA,
please
if you come across this video or something, please let us know.
Leave a comment. Let us know.
Idea, but I feel like that gave us an issue with acquiring eye relief for this particular gun. I wanted to move these. I kept wanting to move these mounts farther back, but I couldn't, obviously, because of this piece, and I don't know why. So, and that we went through multiple scopes here at Ken's house, and different brands and different lengths and different eye reliefs to try and figure out and find. This one here was the closest.
Yeah, the closest one.
Because the only other thing I thought that could happen was maybe to get those what I had dubbed kind of layback mounts, which is actually the what do they call them? Oh man.
Offset mounts.
Thank you. Offset mounts. And You can't
But,
obviously
yeah,
use a
you
one piece.
can't, because,
well, remember, you can't use a one-piece offset mount because the magazine needs to
yeah.
go in here.
Yeah.
But they did have the two-piece offset mounts that I did find online. They make a two-piece offset mount, so that might be something too you could use to acquire eye relief if you only have a certain number of scopes, or you only have one scope, or you bought a scope for your Vectis and you're going to put it together and you're excited the day you're going to go and start shooting this gun, and you realize you can't acquire your eye relief because of the Picatinny offerings in this area of the gun. I don't know.
Yeah.
So please let us know if you've had any kind of issues with that, or if you have solutions and or answers. Yeah, I mean, I think overall, great shooter, great shooting gun. Definitely going to get a humid regulator. It does use a lot of air because it is powerful. This
Okay,
gun
so
is
we
hot.
cronied that out to the range today. What was it shooting at?
I was shooting the.
Wait.
I shot the 18.13 grain JSBs again, like I was shooting out of that bullboss, and it was shooting these out of here at 986, 990s, real high, real hot, real hot. And so, and I know when I was shooting the gun because I felt in the gun just launching out of here, and when it would hit the target, it hit it really hard, like normally. You know how the gun sends your pellets down range and how they hit your targets usually, but this thing was smacking that target, and I thought this thing is running kind of hot. So that's when I borrowed your crony and stuck it on the end and tried it out at the range.
So how did it do out to 50 yards?
Great out to 50 yards. But you do have to watch. You got to pay attention without a regulator in this thing. You do have to pay attention to this manometer because it will drop pretty quickly. I will call it the air guzzler versus the phrase gas guzzling. This thing likes to guzzle some air. Yeah, I did notice that.
So you
it will
foresee a regulator in the future for this?
In my personal opinion, I foresee a regulator in this gun. I'm not a bell curve kind of guy. Can I play with the bell curve and shoot it on a regulated gun? Yes, I can. It's respectable to do that because it does take a little bit of knowing your gun and paying attention and so forth and so on, and that's cool. If you can't afford a regulator, if you aren't interested in meddling with your guns and putting regulators in them, that's totally fine too. And some guns you don't need to. Like today we were talking on the phone with our friend once again, and he said that even he shoots a Hatsan flash pup without a regulator in it. And
for that high power.
For that high power, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, anyways, there you go. That's what I got to say about the Hatsan Vectis. If anybody else has got any tips or anything like that, please share with us. Because even though we're not supposed to share our information, because we got to hold it all within us, we're sharing it with you. So, that's an ongoing joke, and it probably will be for a long time. But this is a great gun. This is a great shouldering, offhand shooting gun. You can even shoot this gun off of bags and stuff. I have it set on this rest right here. But last night when we were culling pellets here in the basement, I did move this piece forward out of the way. I had the gun pinched in the vise and you are able to cycle it with just your thumb when you're bench shooting. Just your thumb pushing down will cycle this thing, and you can just blast through it. I mean, it's very easy. So you can shoot this gun off bags. But it's very, very accommodating to just put it in the shoulder and shoot. So this I would call like the hunting, bashing, working gun. This is definitely a working gun right here. This is something to just go out and do work with,
I can foresee one of these in my collection.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Hatsan Vectis.
Oh yeah.
2.2.
Oh yeah.
Okay, folks, we're going to wrap this up, and we will be doing another videos hopefully soon. We got another farming permission that we're going to try out, a new one.
Yeah, all by me.
So,
somewhere in Michigan.
Yeah, we're going to be out to that new farming permission, so
yeah,
we'll report back when we get up there. So
yeah, hopefully smacking some pigeons and
oh yeah,
I gotta try that pigeon pie recipe from Ted's holdover. Ted, thank you for sharing your pigeon pie recipe, by the way. It looks delicious. Matt Duber, I saw yours today also. as I was scrolling through YouTube and looking up pigeon stuff again today, as before we went out to the farm commission, I saw Matt's video on his pigeon pie, and he brought his friends over and shared it at the table. That was great at the end. I loved it. Nice job, Matt. Nice job. That was way cool. But yeah,
Okay.
thank you guys for sharing your recipes, man, and hopefully we'll be sharing some of our own pigeon pie recipes soon. So,
Okay.
see you then.
We'll see you after the holidays.
Yeah, holidays coming up.
Holidays coming up this week.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Okay. Till then, see ya.
See you later, guys.